What's up guys, it's me, Mr. J02, and today I'm going to be talking about Rise Nation's performance at MLG Atlanta and ESWC. So quickly, I'm going to group both of these events together because they were back-to-back weekends, and because not much is going to change gameplay-wise between Atlanta and ESWC, but to my surprise, a lot did for Rise, so let's start talking about that. So Rise Nation had a pretty poor performance at MLG Atlanta, definitely considering the previous event they won it. So it's very surprising to see Rise take 9 through 12 at MLG Atlanta. Like, if you weren't following them between Vegas and Atlanta, you'd think, what happened with these guys? Why are they 9 through 12 after winning an event? But to be honest, I'm not that surprised, just because between Atlanta and Vegas, they didn't have much practice. You had a hand injury from Felony, so just off that will hinder the performance in practice so much. And also, they just had major internet issues, and that's why you don't see much of an online presence from the Aqua, Felony, Facento trio. Just because between those three, I'm pretty sure they live like not very close to each other. I know Aqua doesn't have the best internet, and you just don't see much of a presence in the 2Ks from Rise. You'll see them grinding, you'll still see them play these 2Ks, but you never see them really win them just because of their internet. And honestly, I think between Felony's hand injury and just the overall internet problems, they didn't have much practice, and they didn't have good practice. So, and Felony even came into this event admitting that they didn't have the best practice. So, I honestly expected after hearing that they wouldn't do the best. So 9 through 12 is kind of disappointing, but honestly, I get why they got 9 through 12, and honestly, they could afford 9 through 12. I mean, they won the previous event, so they're already good on pro points. All they really need to do is just do well at the next two events. Well, I guess it would only be one, which is MLG Dallas. So really, all they have to do is just, honestly, they could place 9 through 12, maybe even 13 through 16 at Dallas, and they would still make it into the league. But honestly, they would want that higher seed, so the more pro points they get, the better it is for them. So, yeah. Now, honestly, I don't really know what happened between Atlanta and ESWC, but obviously something good happened, because Rise Nation got third at ESWC after a week earlier, probably not even getting any practice between then, placing 9 through 12. So, that's obviously awesome, and they gained 4,400 pro points off that, which is pretty decent. This event was half the money of a normal MLG event, and it had a lot less pro points involved, but it still had pro points, which is still what teams strive for right now. But honestly, props to them for getting third. I think that practice from MLG Atlanta, that good LAN practice, helped them a lot, and I think it helped them coming into ESWC. I bet they just watched a bunch of VODs and just talked with each other, and they were honestly set for ESWC. But to be honest, I don't think they were ready for Optic and FaZe. FaZe just straight 3-0'd them. I just don't think Rise was good enough at the game at the current state to beat FaZe. And I definitely don't think they were good enough to beat Optic. Not to say they can't beat them. They could obviously beat them. They just need more practice. And honestly, I think they could beat Optic and FaZe. It wouldn't be that hard for them. So hopefully they could get a lot of good practice going into Dallas. Because honestly, if they get a lot of good practice, I wouldn't be surprised if this team won Dallas. They obviously won Vegas, and I honestly think they have what it takes to win not only Dallas, but multiple other events. So honestly, going into Dallas, I would expect them to do very well, and maybe even win it. If they get a lot of good, solid practice going into Dallas, I would put them in maybe the top 5, maybe even the top 3 to win Dallas. Because we all know they have what it takes to win an event in Infinite Warfare, because they already have done that, and all they need to do is just catch up to Optic and FaZe and even E United, catch up and just learn and study some of these top teams, study what they do and apply that to your team, and honestly they could win the event. They just need to catch up to some of these top teams, learn what the meta is, and they could honestly win Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know down in the comments how you thought of Rise Nation at Atlanta and ESWC, and let me know if you think they have what it takes to win Dallas. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.